Hey you guys, it's Monica and welcome back. So today we are making team sublimation tumblers. But before I get started, make sure if you like these kind of videos to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below if you have any questions. So I have a new tumbler press, mug press from Vevor. Don't ask me where I'm walking to in the background, girl. Um, gathering my materials, I guess. Honestly, I'm in my dining room because I am doing a whole team set. So I'm probably turning the TV to something I would like to watch. Just a tip, you should do that too. And so this video, I'm probably going to title like starting your sublimation business in 2024. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm going to show you how to make money doing it. And so I have this Vevor mug press. I will leave a link to it below. Thank you to Vevor for sending me this. And so when you open the box, the things that you get inside the box, you get these gloves. Spoiler alert, I did not use these gardening gloves, Vevor. Please replace these. I'm in a thin roll of tape. Again, Vevor, I'm sorry, please replace that. I also wouldn't use that tape. So I did bring my own tape down. The user manual, you will need this, and I'll get into that in a second. And then there was these sheets in here. I think you can print on these, but it was not labeled, so I still am not sure actually what these are. But I'm gonna go with this as sublimation paper. It's not like any sublimation paper I've used personally. It's a lot thinner. It's more like the texture of parchment paper. And so I was just a little confused on what I was supposed to do with it, and both sides look the same. I was like, ooh, baby, I don't know what this is. But we got our own paper, so we're not tripping off that. And plus, I needed like 40 sheets, which really turned to like 60 sheets. And I'll touch on that in a minute too. And so, yeah, I'm just putting this up because I was like, I'm not sure what this was. That I printed out everything I needed before I actually went to open the box, because the heat press, the last part, girl, we got to get through the design phase, the printing out phase, the cutting up phase, and then, baby, we know the heat press going to work. We're not even worried about that. So I will leave a link to this heat press below. It comes in multiple colors. You can get it in like the same orange of the gloves. You can get it in this mint color, and they also have it in pink for my peeps that like pink. So, yeah, let me go ahead and unwrap it. So this is what it looks like out of the box. I'm so thankful that companies are now making these heat presses with a smaller footprint, because like those original heat presses, like when they first came out a couple of years ago when we started getting into this, they were huge. But now they're much smaller, much more compact, much more easier to set on your desk. So I'm just going to go ahead and hook it up. And this hooks up like any other press that you've seen, like the little prongs. Ignore my ashy hands. Y'all know I don't know if it's anxiety, but my hands are always ashy because I always wash my hands, because I don't want to leave like a grease mark, a lotion mark, a sweat mark on whatever I'm working on. So I'd rather work with ashy hands than to like lotion them before I get started, just so y'all don't call me ashy on the internet. Baby, it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. And I didn't leave like the noise in it, like the beeps and stuff, but it like make a little beep beep, you know, of course, when it comes on. And so everything you need to control it is in this dial. So you press the dial and you can see like it's showing me the temperature. I pressed it in once and now the temperature's going up. I'm pressing it again. And the temperature is actually rising. That's why it's jumping. But at this point, I realized that I don't know how to work this dial, okay? So I'm like, okay, I'm setting the temp, but what about the time? And I couldn't find out how to get to the time because it kept jumping back to the temp. And so I'm like, okay, Mom, we don't know what we're doing. So I'm over here fiddling with it. Couldn't get it. I will say that once you figure out how to do it the first time, you see now the seconds is counting out. Once you figure out how to do it the first time, you'll be good. So I did go ahead and jump over there to the instruction manual, because sometimes we do got to refer to the instruction manual, and that's fine. And so I am making team tumblers. And for the girlies that want to start in sublimation, this is a really good way to make your money back initially. It's to find like a team who needs tumblers. Once you're comfortable, y'all, don't be going out there and making no bullshit and trying to sell it to people. So my husband is a basketball coach, and if you can't tell, that says Coline basketball. Yes, baby, there is only one Coline in the world, the same Coline you were thinking of. Yes, my husband coaches girls basketball there. We ain't tripping. It's funny. Real quick, y'all, let me tell y'all. Me and my husband were in St. Louis. So my husband also coached girls flag football. And he had on a Coline football shirt when we were in St. Louis. We were at Budweiser. And we were in the elevator going upstairs. And people were like, oh my gosh, those kids have been through so much. Oh, please give them our love. I'm like, these kids from Littleton? All these kids live in a house. Littleton's, I don't want to call it affluent, but it's easily, you know, depending on what part. Now, you live in downtown Littleton, that's a little ghetto. But like where Columbine is, Grant Ranch and stuff like that, them kids is fine. Them kids don't know strife and they don't know hunger. They all live in homes that their parents own. One girl, her daddy got a Navigator and a Tesla. Like, these kids is fine. I promise you, these kids is alright. They all got parents that work now. Mentally, these kids got all them Gen Z problems. I won't get into that, but girl, they complain about stuff my generation would never complain about because we just knew better. But yeah, so that's it on Columbine. My cousin coaches at Columbine, and moving on. And so what I did, I made a super simple design. I made the design in Canva. I always mock up my designs either in Canva or I use my iPad and I use Procreate. So last year my husband worked at a different school for basketball, and so I designed theirs exclusively in Procreate, but he wanted something like super simple this year, and so I can make that in Canva. So when you're starting your business, I definitely recommend you just playing around in Canva. If you want to spend the $10 going, Procreate is a lot more difficult to use. So definitely you can get it done in Canva for the most part. Unless you want to like get in like specialized writings and designs and stuff like that, then at that point I would say switch to Procreate. But yeah, when you're first starting out, definitely just do it in Canva. And so yeah, but the girls, there are like 30, 40 girls, something like that, like 30 something girls this year, of course, plus the coaches, plus athletic director always gets a cup as well. And so like say you can find a team, and I'll show y'all some numbers at the end if you stick around, or if you don't want to hear me chat the whole time, go ahead and skip all the way to the end and I'll break down the numbers for you guys. But this is a really good way when you want to get into sublimation and you put that money up front, but you don't know how you're going to make it back, because let's be real, starting a business, especially one that requires equipment, like a sublimation printer, a heat press, stuff like that, or a mug press, that costs money. And so we got to find a way to make that money back, baby. Okay, in this economy, you got to know what you're getting yourself into before you jump head first. So I'm telling y'all right now, if you're going to do this, make a plan. Baby, watch this video and make a plan. If you want to do team cups, who's the team you going to get? I need y'all thinking about that right now. Write it down. Write it down. Because we are prepared girlies, and boys if you're watching, going in. Do men like to be called boys? I know the girlies like don't mind being called girls. If a man's watching this, you let me know. I don't know what y'all like to be called. Anyways, and so I'm doing mine like in shifts. You can see I already got one set pressed, and what I'm doing now is I'm taping up. I'm taping like a few at a time, and then I'm pressing them. Taping, pressing, and that's how I'm doing it. You can see I cut them all at the same time, and now I am wrapping them. Tip, these are the water bottles. Oh, the mugs. The mugs came from Hog. They are the like dual lid ones that like can turn into like a water bottle and also can turn into like just like a regular drinking mug. When you do these, when you make these, make sure that you are lining up your design with how that twist on lid goes. When you're just doing a pop on lid, it doesn't matter. When you're doing a twist on lid, make sure the part of the design goes where you want it to, because like I used to do that all the time, and I still do it on occasion. Like the seniors all got glitter ones, and so I forgot to do that for the seniors ones. The girl, they just have to live with it. For the most part, it didn't turn out bad, but like I wanted it off to the side so like you can see the Columbine and you can also see the girls' names on the back. So that's just something to keep in mind. And so to operate this thing, it's super simple. So you just put it in, you close it, press it in, and it'll count down. And so y'all know I can't just like give y'all some tea without giving a complaint as well. My biggest complaint with this thing is that when you close it, it doesn't auto count down. I have another machine that auto counts down that I very much enjoy. It's kind of like a set it and forget it, because sometimes especially when I'm bookending them like back to back to back like this, and I'm pressing, sometimes I'll put it in the press and I'll walk away without remembering to hit the button. And so therefore it'll just be in there and I'm like, oh my goodness, about how long has it been? And I might underpress it or I might burn it. So that is just something to consider when you're thinking about this. But you should be pressing with your press. But sometimes girls get thirsty shit. I be needing a swig of water. I be needing a little snacky snack, while this is doing this. So yeah, but it's super simple. So how I press my cups for 60 seconds. And then I rotate it 180 degrees, and I press it for another 60 seconds. And then right now what you're going to see me do is pressing the ends. So this is to make sure we don't get any kind of shadowing on the ends. And so I do this for about 15 seconds on each end. Oh, and also before you press, make sure you are, and I didn't show that, but make sure you're sizing your tumbler in the press before you actually turn the press on, because you don't want it to be hot when you do it. And so that's just something to remember. And so we're going to keep going. I'm going to just show y'all just a couple more times. So remember, 60 seconds, rotate, 60 more seconds, bottom in, top in, 15 seconds each, and you're done. So in total, we're talking about 2.5 minutes per cup. And so not long, and I was trying to figure out, like, what I wanted to tell you guys, like, how long each cup takes. You know, because a lot of times people relate stuff to how much money you want to make in an hour, and it's like 2.5 minutes to press, 2 minutes to tape, 10 minutes to cool. If cooling counts, it's kind of like downtime, the design time. So to me, all that's overhead. I don't think about that as like factoring into how I want to do my business, but that's something you may want to consider. But for me, that's just all overhead, and I don't necessarily count that, towards this. So yeah, so now I'm unwrapping them all. And tape how the Lord tells you to tape. I like to tape 5 down the middle, around the top, and around the bottom. I tried to get away with not taping the top, but like, I don't know. I just can't not do it. I just feel like I have to do it. And be careful. Y'all know I use my fucking utility knife for everything, but I'm a little dangerous with it, so don't be me. If you're not confident, baby, take your time and don't use something as dangerous as me. So yeah, and that's what we're working with. So that is what the cups came out. The girls' names on the back. Of course, their number, the school, and the sport. And Rebel Pride, because that's something they like to say. So yeah, so that is what we got going on. So if you're thinking about, are you thinking about starting a sublimation business? Do you want to do cups? Do you want to do shirts? Shirts is a whole nother thing. Valentine's Day collection is coming out at the beginning of the year, so make sure you subscribe to PeriodSixDesigns.com. I will be sending out those emails. Got new DTFs, got new UV DTFs. So yeah, so this is what it looks like. These are all the non-seniors cups, nice and pressed. Thank you to Vevor for sending me this press, and I turned this thing into a workhorse, so y'all already know it's got that life in it. They all came out super consistent, and so yeah, I will leave a link to the paper, the ink, and the tumblers. They're hog tumblers. I used A-Sub paper, and I used Hippo ink. This is the results. So yeah. So let's go over numbers just very quickly for the girlies who are interested in really turning this to a business. So for example, I paid $200 for the sublimation printer. This Vevor mug press is $110. You can usually get a coupon on Amazon to save $10-20. A case of 25 tumblers from Hog is $115. Paper, ink, tape, let's call it $50. So in total, we have invested $475. Woo, that is a lot of fucking money. Baby, put that shit on Afterpay. We also have Afterpay available over on PeriodSixGlitter.com, and we got Shop Pay. So come and check us out. So yeah, but I'm just going to do it by the case because, for example, this would have been a $700 order for me if I wasn't the coach's wife and I actually was able to take home a paycheck from my art. But if you were only just doing that case, that one case that you bought, I ended up buying 2 cases, then you charge at $20 each. $20 is about standard, especially here in Colorado. Maybe you might be in Arkansas, baby. I don't know what they're doing down there, but maybe you can only charge $15. Do the numbers, crunch the numbers. This would have been $500 in revenue, and essentially you would have made all your money back just on your first order. So people might say sublimation is not worth it. I think about it in dollars and cents, and when you break it down like this, it makes sense. So if you have any questions, leave them below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sticking with me this year. I am almost to 50K. I cannot believe it. So subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys in the new year.